Well, first tonight, we are learning and we are hearing from the grandmother of a 9-year-old girl who was shot and killed Monday night. The girl's mom was also shot but survived.
Fox 26's Dominic Keith joining us live from downtown Houston, where the mom's ex-boyfriend is now in jail, charged with Kylie's murder.
Yeah, and Kylie's grandmother is speaking out for the first time, even as more details about that tragic night are now being released.
It's just a hurtful process at this time, and we're devastated.
In fact, Tracy Sorrell says her heart is broken after her daughter Brittany was shot in the shoulder and survived, and her granddaughter Kylie was shot in the head and killed.
This is the story of Kylie Sorrells. On June 13, 2022, at 404 Oxford Street in Houston, Texas, the mechanical failure of a judicial system met the physical breach of a residential door. Jeremiah Jones, a 22-year-old male with a documented history of burglary and firearm offenses, was at that moment a free man. Despite 5 active felony bonds and a series of documented threats, he remained unmonitored. Inside the apartment, the environment was domestic and stationary. Brittany Sorrells and her 3 children, ages 9, 7, and 1, were located in a single bedroom. The time was approximately 10 p.m. The confrontation began not with a demand for life, but for property. Jones entered the unit, forcibly removed a television from the living room wall, and entered the bedroom to secure a mobile device. He accused Brittany of infidelity. The escalation from verbal dispute to kinetic violence occurred within seconds. Jones produced a firearm. 2 rounds were discharged at close range. The first projectile struck Brittany Sorrells in the shoulder, causing non-fatal trauma. The second projectile struck 9-year-old Kylie Sorrells in the head.
This nigga shot my daughter. He shot my daughter. He shot me. He needs to go to jail.
Jones exited the premises immediately, leaving 2 unharmed toddlers in the room with their injured mother and deceased sister. He remained at large for 24 hours, during which time he contacted local media to issue a formal denial of the events.
Before Jones was captured by HPD SWAT officers Tuesday evening, he told me he didn't do it.
Because I was at a gas station on camera minutes before they say, within probably like 15 to 20 minutes before they even said that this happened.
Brittany's mom says her daughter is 100% sure it was him.
She was looking at him, they were talking, and he got upset and, couldn't take no for an answer.
This act of public redirection ended when HPD SWAT intercepted his vehicle on Imperial Valley Drive. When apprehended, Jones was again in possession of a loaded weapon. The incident serves as a data point in the failure of bond oversight and the terminal intersection of domestic volatility and systemic negligence. This is the complete story, every action, every chilling detail. Welcome to Everyday True Crime. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a case. Stay with us for more gripping investigations and raw true crime stories delivered daily. Now let's dive in. Kylie Sorrells was a 9-year-old 5th grader at Windsor Village Elementary School in Houston. Her presence in the community was defined by high levels of engagement in both academic and extracurricular activities. She was recognized by faculty and peers for her consistency and leadership within the school environment. Kylie was a prominent participant in the Houston Police Activities League, a program designed to foster positive relationships between law enforcement and local youth through athletics. She was designated an MVP star on her basketball team. Her involvement in the PAL program meant that her death had a direct impact on the local police department, many of whom had personally interacted with her through the league. Socially, Kylie was active on digital platforms, specifically TikTok, where she created content that was described by her family as vibrant and creative. In the family structure, she served as the eldest of 3 daughters. Her mother, Brittany Sorrells, noted that Kylie was highly protective of her younger sisters, ages 1 and 7, often assuming a caregiving role. At the time of her death, Kylie was less than 1 month away from her 10th birthday. Forensic and family records indicate she was in the process of planning a celebration for the double-digit milestone. Jeremiah Jones, 22 at the time of the incident, possessed a criminal history that spanned a decade. His first recorded interactions with the justice system began at age 12. While his juvenile records remain sealed under Texas law, his adult history from 2018 to 2022 shows a trajectory of increasing violence. His rap sheet included theft and burglary of a habitation, crimes involving property and the breach of private residences, terroristic threats, documented instances of threatening bodily harm to family members, evading arrest, multiple charges involving flight from law enforcement in motor vehicles. The most significant data point in the background of Jeremiah Jones was his legal status on June 13, 2022. At the time of the shooting, Jones was free on 5 separate felony bonds in Harris County. Just 2 weeks prior to the murder, Jones had been released on bond for a charge of felon in possession of a firearm. Despite repeated violations of his bond conditions, including being charged with new crimes while awaiting trial for others, the judicial system did not revoke his freedom or increase his supervision. This specific detail transformed the case from a domestic incident into a focal point for the Texas bond reform debate. Brittany Sorrells ended her 8-month relationship with Jeremiah Jones in April 2022. Investigators later determined that Jones was unable or unwilling to accept the termination of the relationship. Following the breakup, Jones engaged in a pattern of stalking and harassment. Sorrells described his behavior as a jealous rage, driven by his belief that she was communicating with other men. 1 week before the fatal shooting, Jones arrived at Sorrells' apartment while armed with a handgun. During this encounter, he explicitly stated his intention to kill her. Data from the Houston Police Department confirmed that Brittany Sorrells made 4 separate calls to law enforcement regarding Jones in the 30 days leading up to the murder. These calls included reports of disturbances and the specific death threat mentioned above. While Jones was already out on bond for violating a protective order regarding a different woman, no immediate intervention occurred to remove him from the streets following Sorrells' reports. Jones arrived at the apartment complex at 404 Oxford Street at approximately 9:54 p.m. He entered the unit through a front door that was unlocked. A cousin of Brittany Sorrells, who was outside the building, observed Jones' arrival. Recognizing the danger, the cousin attempted to call Brittany to warn her. Brittany answered the phone, but the warning was irrelevant. Jones was already inside the apartment. Brittany was in the master bedroom with her 3 daughters, Kylie, 9, and her sisters, 7 and 1. They were watching a movie. Jones entered the room and initiated a verbal dispute centered on 2 items. Jones claimed ownership of the television in the living room. He walked to the living area and ripped the device off the wall. Jones returned to the bedroom and demanded Brittany's mobile phone, accusing her of using it to contact other men. After seizing the phone, Jones moved toward the bed where the children were located. Jones discharged a firearm twice. 1 projectile struck Kylie Sorrells in the head. The second struck Brittany Sorrells in the shoulder. The 7-year-old and 1-year-old sisters were positioned on the bed during the discharge. They were physically uninjured but were in the direct line of sight of the shooting. Jones fled the scene in a dark-colored Chevrolet Camaro. HPD issued a citywide alert. Because of Kylie's status in the PAL program, the search involved intensified coordination across multiple divisions. During the 24 hours he was at large, Jones maintained a high level of audacity. He contacted a reporter at Fox 26 Houston via phone. In a recorded conversation, he denied being the shooter and claimed he was being framed or unfairly targeted by the police. On June 14, 2022, at approximately 6 p.m., tactical units tracked Jones to a parking lot in the 22300 block of Imperial Valley Drive. HPD SWAT and Central Patrol Division tactical teams performed a high-risk vehicle stop. Jones was taken into custody without further gunfire. At the time of his arrest, he was found in possession of a loaded firearm. Jeremiah Jones was charged with, specifically for the intentional killing of an individual under 10 years of age. For the shooting of Brittany Sorrells on June 21, 2022, Jones appeared in the 184th State District Court. Given the circumstances of the crime and his history of bond violations, the judge denied bond entirely. This ensured that Jones would remain in the Harris County Jail until the conclusion of his trial. The case became a primary example used by advocates for Senate Bill 6 and other bond reform measures in Texas. Critics of the current system argued that if Jones' previous 5 bonds had been revoked after his first violation, Kylie Sorrells would still be alive. Houston Police Chief Troy Finner issued a formal statement expressing the department's internal grief. He categorized the act as senseless domestic violence and emphasized that the department would not tolerate violence against children, particularly one who was a member of their own PAL family. Brittany Sorrells was treated for her shoulder wound and released. However, the psychological impact on the surviving children, who witnessed the execution of their sister, became a focal point of the family's recovery process. The legal proceedings concluded in July 2025. During the trial, prosecutors utilized GPS data from the car Jones was driving to disprove his alibi that he was on a date at the time of the shooting. The data placed him at 404 Oxford Street exactly when the shots were fired. On July 18, 2025, Jeremiah Jones was convicted of capital murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. If this story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.